Good morning, dear friends. Today's first reading is from the first book of Samuel, chapter 16, verses 1 to 13, and the gospel reading is from Mark, chapter 2, verses 23 to 28. In the gospel reading today, we see the disciples of Jesus, they were picking up heads of grains as they were walking along on a Sabbath day, and they did this because they were hungry and they were eating the grains as they were walking along. But according to the Jewish law, they were violating the Sabbath because Sabbath was considered a day of rest and no one was allowed to do any kind of work on the Sabbath. And the Pharisees, they followed the Sabbath rules very strictly. So everyone was supposed to only spend time in the synagogue with the Lord, and no one was allowed to do any kind of work on the Sabbath. But Jesus reminds the Pharisees how King David also violated the Jewish law when his soldiers were hungry. And Jesus is reminding them that Sabbath is made for man and not man for the Sabbath. And what is the meaning of this? Jesus shows us that every religious rule or law is given to help man and not to oppress him or condemn him or to criticize man. We need to enjoy these rules and regulations so that we deepen our relationship with Christ. And the Sabbath or the Sunday, it should never be a burden for us. Instead, it should be a day of enjoying in the presence of the Lord, resting with the Lord, talking to Him, spending time with Him, deepening our relation with Him. God sees the heart's desire, my dear friends. He sees what is our number one priority. Are we giving Him the first priority on a Sabbath, or are we simply just following rules and regulations just for the sake of doing it, just because others are going to church on a Sunday? We also simply go to church and then not bother to have a deep relation with Him. And that's why Jesus is saying that Son of Man is Lord of the Sabbath. Jesus is the Lord of all traditions, histories, rules, regulations, everything. He should be the Lord of all our aspects in our life. In everything that we think, in everything that we do, we say, may everything be pleasing to Him. He is the reason why we need to go to church on any day or any Sunday. It is very, very important, my dear friends, to have a relation with Jesus rather than just following external rules. Let us remember that we are the church. Today, we people, we all together, we form the church, and the Lord of the Sabbath, He dwells in us. He is living in each of us. And this truth needs to sink in our hearts. Keeping the Sabbath holy is resting in His divine presence all the days of our life, every day, enjoying with the Lord. Just like how a child enjoys in the presence of his mother and father, same way we also need to enjoy in the presence of the Lord and make Him the Lord of our life, not only on the Sabbath, not only on a Sunday, but all the days of our life. Our Father desires to be with His child, desires to enjoy with His children, and let us also be submerged in the love of the Lord. And only if we experience this love of the Lord can we share that love with others, can we also make others understand the true meaning of a Sunday or a Sabbath day. Thank you. God bless you.